In this video, we're just going to have a quick look inside this NBN Co box. And as you can see, I paid a whole $2 for it. So I assume it's a faulty one. There was a pile of them at the tip shop. Not much good for anything anyway without signing up and all the rest. Got a power plug there. Not sure what goes in there. Is that the in lead to their rooftop thing, I guess? And 4 outputs plus 2. This one's got the 2 phone. So I think this is one they put on the outside of your house. I've got fixed wireless here, so a different sort of box. Doesn't have the phone connections. You've got to buy your own analog adapter. Now for this thing, whatever it is, that's your why has it still got the thing in there? That's your fibre optic in by the look of it. Yeah, class 1 laser product. Who knows, maybe it's a new one, maybe it's an obsolete model now or something. But I thought for $2, I'm going to have a look inside one just for the hell of it. I doubt there's anything interesting or useful in it. But since I was grabbing a couple of other things there, and this was in the same spot, I thought I might as well just throw it in. Made in China. It is an NTD G240 GP, or G-P, 12 volt at 1 amp. So it's probably just going to be a bunch of chips and nothing else of any interest. How do we get the lid off it? Oh, there's a clip there by the look of it. Gonna say that corner didn't have a screw, so that gives you an idea. Yeah, still not coming apart. I guess it's all clipped together. Look, there's one of them. Better be careful not to break it after spending $2 on it. And there we have it. Oh, so there's a nice little, oh look at this, nice little fibre optic lead. A Broadcom chip. Unfortunately, like most electronics, it's just boring. No parts you can really take out of it. It's probably just going to go straight back in the e-waste. So it's got quite a length of this fibre optic stuff here. Why do they give you so much? Or is that just so there's no, probably so there's a minimum bend radius, I guess, to go from the input position to facing into this thing. But then they could have just bent it and gone straight in the other direction, I guess. Does that just... No. Oh, so is that actually crimped in there or something? Well, I can't even pinch that off it. Unless it does rotate or something. Kind of looks like it's permanently attached. So yeah, not much of any value. I think that is permanently attached, so maybe it just came standard with this length and you've got to roll it up. There's some 50 ohm, I don't know if they're labelled as Ds. Normally it'd have some sort of protection on the phone line against lightning, so like a varista type thing. Maybe that's what they are. I've never seen one with 50 ohms on it before, because they should be like an open circuit until the lightning or whatever causes them to melt and short out, but whether that's what they even are. And of course this thing actually transmits and receives, being the internet, it's not just a receiver box. So we do have a, it looks like a diode, maybe 5-pin receiver and a 3-pin transmitter, I guess. So that's why they're saying about the laser radiation warning. There is some dust in this, so I don't think it's new. Is because it both puts laser light out this thing and of course receives light coming back again, because it's receive and transmit. Got a couple of 1000 mic 16 volt capacitors, little reset switch, and dual RJ socket, but really nothing in here of any value. Maybe some of the parts in the little power supply could be useful for something. Looks like it's probably a switch mode. It's got a couple of inductors. So possibly some of those bits could be useful for repairing something. Got a lot of repeated same things up here by the look of it. A missing connector. Oh yeah, what have we got here? All this stuff again looks a bit like a switch mode power supply. Lots of caps, inductors, possibly a couple of diodes, a couple of chips running it. So maybe that's more the power section than what's down here. Or is part of that something to do with the phone? Yeah, not sure if they're actual opto-couplers or it shouldn't be, because you do need DC to run your phone. So I wonder if that's the power supply. Maybe that's where they derive the power supply for the phones. This thing could be useful to power up. It could be the basis of something for testing phones out or something, because these usually have a ringtone and everything. How you activate the ringtone, I don't know, but there's possibly some info on the chip there that might be able to do something. But these things must generate it when it obviously comes in through the fibre optic. It recognises it as a phone signal, probably some data packet or something that tells it it's going to be a phone, and that starts the ringer in this thing. And you need, yeah, sort of 75 volts or something potentially to run the ringer. I don't know if all these run, some of them I think will run actual bell phones, which use a bit more current, but most of them should run an electronic ringer. But you've got to power the whole telephone, which doesn't use a lot, but you need around 50 volts for the phone, 75 AC for the ring. So maybe that's what this stuff is, but potentially that could actually be useful for something now that I think about it. Even though I do have a silicon chip project to build one of these days, which looks like pretty much the ultimate thing for using as a phone intercom or phone tester. So yeah, that's what's inside one of those. Nothing particularly exciting, but potentially some of that circuit, I might keep it for that circuitry there. And sometime we might have a play around. Can I work out where the 12 volts goes into this thing is the next problem, I guess. Does it just come out to these caps? You'd think so, but that earth doesn't actually look to be connected. Got two lines going to these, looks like L something, VD whatever. I've got an 8-pin connector for 12 volts, which is a bit crazy now. Oh, here's our earth. Let's have a quick look. So that's the negative. Looks like we've got a couple joined to earth, though they don't look to be necessarily. Let's see. Everything else is through inductors. Probably to remove all the RF this thing would produce, which would be plenty, I would think. So does the positive of these caps, which must be this side, go directly to any of these pins? To ground? That's handy. No, I don't think I can just hook to those caps. Let's check it up here. Wouldn't be that simple, would it? Let's see, are those connected to anything? That was ground, I think. Oh, wait, is there a room for? There's a room for a DC socket here, I think. So that would be the positive. Oh, what? No, that's ground, I think. And those should be the positive. So that one's the negative. The positive goes through all this stuff, maybe. Oh, it goes to here. Then you've got a couple of resistors, so it does go to positive. Why didn't you? Oh, wait, but is that connected to? Oh, to that pin. No, oh, that's the earth one. What pin? Oh, this pin here. That should connect to that one, yeah. So it's this pin and that, so these two end pins are really the ground. Don't know why that didn't measure before. So we can hook across these caps, I think. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I blow it up, I guess. Or what's the best place to connect to? Might even be best to solder a couple of wires on just to be safe. So that is positive. I guess we should go, they're only 0 ohm resistors, so that's not going to make any difference. That's negative. Now I better be a little careful, that thing is blocked off because it may put out some sort of laser light. Not really pulling any current. Turn the load on. Oh, we've got a LED flashing. Not sure, oh, we shouldn't see anything light on that, I wouldn't think. Can we see anything? Nothing there yet, but it probably takes a little while to get going knowing these things. Let's see, what do we got? Any obvious 12 volts there. No, it doesn't look like any exciting voltages. 12 volts there. Does this power supply even run when there's no phone call coming in or anything? Who knows? Oh, so that's what all those LEDs are. Of course, they're all the same as the other boxes. They've got a million LEDs that take all day to light up. So it says the optical is going. We've got power. Of course, whether this does much without a signal is another thing. We're going to hear light coming out of there. I can't see anything. Probably best not to look into that thing. Let's have a look. Any voltages for a phone here? What was that? Something came up. Not much. Can we plug a phone in? So unfortunately it doesn't seem to be any action from the phone sockets. It's only the centre 2 pins I use anyway. So it may be that you can't fire this up, or at least won't fire up on its own without a proper signal and service and whatever, who knows. So it's probably more work than it's worth to try and work out how to get this going, but it could be worth checking out what these ICs are and what it takes to get them going. How would they inject it in here, I wonder? Not seeing any real connections back up to this thing. That goes to the chip. I reckon that'd have to be our phone DC section. So it's really a matter of probably finding out what those chips are. They're probably the same type anyway. We have an RT75Z and an RT75Z. I think that's the number. It's also got 1F03 or something. IF03, 1F03. RT75Z, I don't recognise the manufacturer's symbol. The other one is a VHC 084702 N2831F. Which is the one in the middle. Doesn't look to have a lot of connections, at least on this side of the board. So possibly there's some sort of power supply you could tell them to turn on or something. That'll get these switch modes running and outputting voltages. But yeah, not sure it's really worth doing much with, but I might chuck it under the bench for now rather than just chuck it away. And maybe have a fiddle with it sometime, see if we can get that phone section to work.